This is music, and this is a bunch of random CDs that I listened to in December. Before I start, I just want to say thanks to my fellow countryman, the Female Metalfan, for giving this channel a shout out in his end of year shout out video. Much appreciated. His channel is dedicated to collecting music on physical media, mostly metal music and hard rock music, but also, music beyond those genres. And as the name of his channel indicates, he does highlight a lot of metal bands that are either fronted by women or are sort of all out women. All the members of the bands are women. And the vibe I get from watching his videos is what we call hygge in Danish, which kind of means to have a good time or something like that. And that's the vibe I get from watching his videos. This is somebody who just enjoys collecting and talking about music and has a great time doing that. And that's why we're all here, I think. We enjoy listening to music and to have a great time listening to music and talking about music. So definitely check out his channel, yeah? Okay, so there's one sort of genre of videos that I've been on the fence about making, not about watching. I enjoy watching videos within that genre, but about making it, and that's the what's been spinning type of video. And that's simply because, who on earth would be interested in watching me talk about what I've been listening to, I don't know, during the week or the month or whatever? Who would be interested in that? But then when I think, okay, some of the channels I watch that make what's been spinning videos, the Female Metalfan has made a couple of those. Tainted Lord 87 has made a bunch of what have I been listening to this weekend videos, where he just highlights a couple of CDs that he's been listening to. And Chad the Metallurgist has done something very similar, a couple of videos like that, also showing some CDs and some vinyls, I believe, just talking about that. And of course you have Holzbar Metal. He has made a bunch of very, very epic what's been spinning style videos talking about what he's been listening to at work and at home. And I enjoy watching those videos that these channels that I mentioned that they make. And I went, okay, so why do I enjoy it? Well, first of all, I think it is genuinely interesting to get some insight into what people with similar music tastes, but also kind of different music tastes to mine, what they listen to. And secondly, I get introduced to new bands or new releases that I didn't know, or maybe I'm reintroduced to bands or releases that I kind of forgot, and I go, okay, maybe I'll go back and listen to that. So that's why I enjoy what's been spinning videos. So I figured, okay, I think I'll try to make some what's been spinning style videos every now and then. And I'm not going to show you everything that I've been listening to, because that would be basically too much, if you know what I mean. So I'm gonna just show you some CDs that I've been listening to, occasionally some tapes, maybe some vinyls every now and then. I don't have any vinyls to show today. So what I'm going to show you today is basically a box of CDs that what I do is I like to sort of go through my collection of CDs, pick out some CDs, put them in a small box, put that in the kitchen, and then listen to them when I do stuff in the kitchen. And I'm going to show you what's been in that box. And I'm also going to show you some cassettes. But let's get down to it. So if we take the CDs first, so the first one is this one here, Antithesis, Dying for Life here. This is progressive metal, and it's slightly more hard-hitting than your sort of typical progressive metal is. I would not go as far as calling it progressive thrash metal, but it's, in my opinion, very good. It is refined. It has those sort of technical things going on. It sounds maybe like something somewhere in between Lethal, like Lethal Programmed, that album, which I really like, and maybe, I don't know, Watchtower or Realm, without being as heavy as Watchtower or Realm. But yeah, Antithesis, Dying for Life, for my money, really good stuff. I mean, if you like progressive metal, check it out. The next one is Beastie Boys, Licensed to Ill, rap music, 80s rap music. And this one has classics on it, like No Sleep Till Brooklyn and Fight for Your Right, both of which are actually rock songs in my opinion. And in No Sleep Till Brooklyn, there's even a Kerry King solo, as far as I remember. But if you like sort of like old school rap music, check out the Beastie Boys. They were actually a punk band originally. Then I've been listening to a bunch of Tony Martin fronted Black Sabbath, so like Headless Cross and Tear, and also Cross Purposes. And I'll say that these are kind of like underrated gems. The Tony Martin era doesn't get as much love as it should, in my opinion, because first of all, I think Tony Martin is a great vocalist. I haven't heard Forbidden. That's sort of notorious for being a terrible album, but all the other albums that he sings on are, for my money, great. They're a bit more commercial sounding, a bit more hard rock oriented, I think, but still really, really good stuff. The riffs are really great on the Tony Martin fronted Black Sabbath albums, and of course the vocals, top class for my money. So here are just some of them. I didn't listen to Eternal Idol, and I also, because it was just next to them in the my collection, Dehumanizer with Ronnie James Dio. I think this might be another kind of underrated album when it comes to the Dio era. People, of course, go for Heaven and Hell and Mob Rules, but this one is really great too. It's really heavy as well. So, if you haven't really listened to those albums, give them a spin. I also listened to this one here by Demolition Hammer, Epidemic of Violence. Really fast and aggressive and quality, for my money, thrash metal. Some people say it's death thrash. I don't think it's that extreme, but it is very aggressive. More thrash metal, Decapitator. This is just fun. Also very aggressive thrash metal. Some people have called this death thrash as well. I'm not sure I agree with that either. Although the vocals are they're harsh. I wouldn't say they're growled, but they're in the neighborhood. Another great thrash metal album called We Will Destroy, You Will Obey. So check that out if you like thrash metal. I have even more thrash metal here. Hank Sherman project, Demonica. And this one is called Demonstrous. And this is modern thrash metal. And really aggressive. I mean, you might not expect that from Hank Sherman, because he's more typically associated with traditional metal, but this is really aggressive, heavy, modern thrash metal. I think they only made this album, and it's kind of a shame, because for my money, this is really good stuff. So give it a spin or a chance if you come across a copy of it. I've also been listening to this one a couple of times, actually. Disneyland After Dark, now known as DAD, Call of the Wild. And of course, they probably are internationally best known for No Fuel Left for the Pilgrims and Risking It All, which are... No Fuel Left for the Pilgrims is kind of like somewhere between hard rock and 80s traditional heavy metal. Risking It All is more hard rock. Subsequently, they made an album which I don't think is that well known internationally, called Help Your Selfish, which is more like alternative metal, but it's really heavy. And after that, they developed into a more of a soft rock band, and I kind of lost interest in it. But they also, before No Fuel Left for the Pilgrims, they made a couple of albums, one called D&D Draws a Circle, and then this one here, Call of the Wild. And while Draws a Circle is kind of punky with hard rock tendencies, this here is not very hard rock, it's not metal. This is a mix of country music with some rock and some punk. The genre was called cowpunk. But actually the songs on here are, most of them are actually really good, very catching and almost haunting melodies. The title track, for example, has a very, very catchy and melancholic sort of theme, guitar theme melody going on. You have Jackie O as well. You have Rock River and Johnny. Johnny has a great chorus that you just have to sing along to. So some great melodies here. You also have some kind of Counting the Cattle is kind of like a fun, silly song. Land of Their Choice, the same thing. What I think is kind of interesting about this album is that this is in the 80s. It's a bunch of dudes from Copenhagen writing songs about gunmen, going to Disneyland, driving trucks, shooting people, lots of gunmen actually, and gunfights. Sort of romanticizing sort of the Wild West and sort of related themes like truck driving. It's kind of interesting. But this is, if you can get your hands on this album and you don't mind a bit of sort of country western inspired music. I don't like country western, to be honest, for the most part, but this stuff here is good because it's cowpunk. So check out Disneyland After Dark, Call of the Wild, if you can find a copy of it. Hallows Eve, Tales of Terror, for my money, sort of really nice. It's a classic, I think, sort of speed and thrash metal with elements of traditional metal and also, in my opinion, some elements of punk. So check it out if you think that's interesting. Victims of Deception by Heathen. Classy, tasty, quality, great thrash metal. Really, this is, I would say this is one of the many albums, to be honest, that I consider thrash to piece. I also managed to just give this, I only listened to this once, Deadlands by Matter Mortem, Norwegian band, and they started out being a doom metal band, and then they progressed, ironically I guess, into being a progressive metal band. Not like prog metal, not like Dream Theater or Fate's Warning or anything like that, but metal that's progressive. And that's what we get here. There's not a lot of doom metal left on this album. A couple of songs do have some doom metal elements to them for sure, but this is not a doom metal album. It is really heavy, and the guitars have a crushingly heavy sound, but it's just Matter Mortem doing their own thing, and it's progressive, and it's female fronted, by the way. So if you're interested in female fronted metal, here's another band you might want to check out. Sort of a challenging listen, I would say, without being overly technical or anything like that, but a challenging listening nonetheless. I would say it's progressive, Matter Mortem. I don't know how much there's to say about it. I've shown this one already. MC Einar. They're Danish rap Danish rap music from the 80s. They do have a guitarist, and some of the riffs that he plays are kind of semi-heavy. These guys were very inspired by the Beastie Boys, not so much on this album, but on the previous album called The New Stil, which is even a Danish translation of The New Style, which is a song from the Beastie Boys album I just showed you. But there's lots of fun stuff on this one. But I mean, you would have to understand Danish, I think, to get the humor in their lyrics, of course. But you know, I listened to this, so wanted to showcase it. I've also shown this one a couple of times. Nemophila, Oiran, extended edition, Japanese all-woman metal band, modern metal. There's some really good songs on this. There might also be some songs maybe that some people find maybe a bit too poppy. Other people might actually enjoy that. But Oiran and Rate and Sorai and Dissension, for my money, are really good, heavy, just modern metal songs with thrash metal elements, some extreme metal elements, in the vocals at least. You have Fighter, which is more of a hard rock song. Monsters, which is more of a power metal kind of song with some pop elements. And Life, which is a ballad, but it's pretty good. The musicianship in this band is top notch. They're really incredible musicians. But my favorite part of the band is the vocals. Mayu has just a great voice. I mean, there are lots of other people that are just as good, I think, singers as her, but there's just something about the quality of her voice, especially when she does rock belting, that's just absolutely great. A lot of people have actually talked about what a great vocalist she is, and I totally agree with them. If I make a video about my favorite vocalists, she's certainly going to appear on it. And then the last CD I'm going to show, I've shown the vinyl version of this in a previous video, is Spheres by Pestilence. Death metal meets jazz, kind of weird, but really, for my money, really great. A challenging listen, dissonant chords, vocals that are not quite growled, but still kind of growled, you know what I mean? They do some weird sort of also like single string kind of riffs. It's a mix of jazz, fusion, and death metal. And this album flopped back in the day because I think people just didn't understand it. It is a challenging listen, but for my money, it's an awesome album. It's a masterpiece for my money. I really enjoy it. Pestilence, Spheres. So that's the CDs. And then I'm just going to show you some cassettes. And some of these have made appearances in some videos, and some of these will make appearances. So I've been giving this one, Dealing Death by Vulture, quite a bit of spins, and it will make an appearance in a Tapeworm Terror episode. Suffice it to say that it's, for my money, quality, fun, speed thrash metal. I'm pretty sure the next one will also make an appearance. Desert Warrior by Sandstorm, more like traditional metal, and the guitar tone is almost just like 70s hard rock, but the music is 80s metal, but it's from, I think it's from 2021 actually. Very good stuff. This is just an EP. The next one will also make an appearance, and it has made an appearance in a video, but it'll make an appearance in a Tapeworm Terror video. Task Force, Toxicator, Born in Thrash, Revivalist thrash metal. Good stuff actually. The next one has been showcased a bunch of times already, but it's so great, I'm gonna showcase it again. Devil Seed, self-titled doom metal, Hungarian, I believe, doom metal, female fronted. If you're interested in female fronted bands, and Megaton Sword, Blood Hails Steel, Steel Hails Fire. That's, you know, the Sorcerer and the Axe and Unchained and all those cheesy names. Especially, I don't know, Simon the Sorcerer. I don't know if he was bullied in school. It sounds really nerdy. I'm just joking. This is actually great epic heavy metal. I really enjoyed listening to it, so I figured I would just showcase it again. So that's what's been spinning. I've been listening to much more music than this, but this is what I sort of wanted to highlight and showcase. I hope you will, if you don't know some of these bands, I hope you'll check them out, give them a chance. If you already know them, maybe you'll go back and revisit them. In any case, thanks for watching.